Hello, welcome to this. That's quite enthusiastic. Hello, just welcome to this. What is it? Like a blog? No, what's it called? Devlog video. Well, I'm just going to catch you up on this work in progress called Space Blit. Not a good name and doesn't kind of mean anything. So last time-ish, this being the third video, you saw this amazing diagram which we made together to explain what I wanted the ship editor to look like for this game. So the idea is that you'll be able to place down cubes or squares or voxels on a grid, and then the program to be able to take those positions and actually construct or build a ship that you can go and fly around in space and things. That being the key mechanic of the game. And I had the idea that you would have a certain number of voxels, let's say 5. I can't remember if that 5 meant anything on the original diagram. And then you'll be allowed to have 5 voxels. Right, so that was the plan. It would look something like that, like a grid. And this is the real thing, which you saw. Oh no, you did see this last video. We saw this working. And yes, that I remember. I was actually coding, and then last video I started recording at the moment that I was actually going to test to see if we could go from the editor to the actual game itself. So using this data and translating it into the, what do I call them? Yeah, voxel objects. So at the moment these are grid box objects that I've coded, and basically I've coded like a little mechanism that goes from this like 2D data into 3D voxels. But what I've just been working on is using JSON files or JavaScript object notation to save these designs, because it's quite fun to design your own ship and then to, I don't know, create names for your ships and this kind of thing, but that would require being able to save them. So I'm having a bit of trouble with that, but as you can see, I've just got this debugging tool where I just click down here. This won't work in the version that I've posted to CodePen, by the way. But if I click down here, it loads these different designs. Now, the bug that I'm having at the moment is I created 7 designs, I think, and for some reason, my JSON file is only recording 2. Or rather, I've done something like when I'm making a new design and saving it to the file, it's not concatenating to the array in the correct way. Anyway, that's just the technicalities behind it. But what is working is I can save designs now to file, and in the future I will save those online, so different players could, save ships and things like that, as well as being a way to save your progress in the game, because this game will have a narrative that will be like a divine space mystery. That's kind of the idea, without giving too much away. Right, another improvement. I just thought if you were testing this out, I haven't really tested it out properly on a touch screen. I've had a go on my phone, but the resolution goes completely wrong on a phone. So another job will be to scale it so that you can play on a retina screen and things like that. I haven't tried it on an iPad or anything with a larger screen. It might be okay there. But in order to do that, you might not be able to press space. But instead you can just tap here and that will launch. So you can see the design of my ship there has been taken into the 3D world. These lines, by the way, I just put that in for fun. I just wanted to see if I could draw a line from the 3D location of our ship to all the traffic ships going around, and the answer is I could. So maybe that will be like a tractor beam system or something, or just some kind of visual later on. Again, creative coding, just messing around with things. So if we go back into, oh yes, that's what I was talking about. If you're playing it on a PC or a Mac or something with a keyboard, you can press space at the moment in the work in progress to take you back into the ship editor. But what if you don't have a keyboard? What you can now do is find the engine block, the blue block or the blue-green block, tap that, and it will bring you nicely back into the editor. So now you don't need a keyboard to play this game at all. Oh yes, and I've put that information there, which you probably read beforehand. The other thing I've worked on, if we go back into the game, actually let's just let's use a different ship. Oh, there we go. Oh, I tapped straight onto my ship again. So yes, it's working. I can load different ships and things like this. I've also got the sectors working now. I've just tried something out, a simple system. Well, let me show you. First of all, notice the planet that we've got in this sector. If we go into the above sector, the planet now disappears. So that planet recognizes that it doesn't belong in this sector, so it disappears when you go there. Let's just go kind of in a circle. So no planet there, go one down, no planet there, and if we return over here, we should have our planet back. Yes, so the system is kind of working. And if I press spacebar now, in this version that I'm running, this is the first steps towards a navigation screen. So I've just recorded very simply with some text what sector we're in. So we're in sector 4-5. How am I doing this? I think, yeah, you can go into minor sectors. Let's try that. I think this is X and Y. Yeah, and it might take you into a minor sector. Let's have a look. Also, just to talk about this, I wanted some kind of technical kind of like visuals, but which were kind of significant in a way. I think I'm trying to think about every aspect of this game. I'm just thinking like, so down here I've got an engine cube, an engine block, rotating inside a sphere where I've obviously just reduced it to a wireframe, and I've just got it moving with some like on a sine wave, just rocking back and forward. And so that movement and that visual is kind of symbolic for what the story will be about, which I won't talk about yet. Okay, so let's try and get into a minus number, because that will be an issue, and let's just adapt our ship now that we can design ships. There we go. It's going to kind of look like an insect with like a curly moustache or an antenna. There we go. Right, and once I get the JSON file to save all of my ships and things like that, I've got another idea. Here, have a look at my notes. Here's some notes. Yeah, on those notes, if I can't get the current system working, which is basically I'm putting all the ship designs into one file, one JSON file, and then it's using complicated arrays to try and iterate over all the different information to find different ships, and it's very complicated. And so a simpler version might simply be to have one JSON file per ship, and that would be easy to kind of work with. But I don't know. I like the other version as well, having just one file. It's a bit more complicated, but it would be easier to kind of draw off the information and things like this. Anyway, so my idea there is what I've just explained. What are we doing? Oh yes, we're going to see if we can get into a minor sector. So we're in 4-5, sorry. So if we go up, are we in 3-5? No, 4-5. Oh yeah, we're on the y-axis. So this will be 4-3. There we go, 4-3. 4-2, 4-1, and does this mean we're in 4-0? And then presumably I'm going to take myself minus here. So -1. So this is possibly a problem. For Perlin noise, if I'm going to distribute planets and galaxies and things in a procedural way, I'm going to use Perlin noise. And if you have minus numbers, what tends to happen is, let's say we're in sector 4-1, and we have a distribution of planets. If we then go to 4-1, we have the same thing but kind of a mirror image, and so it breaks the illusion of having a natural looking galaxy or whatever else. This might fit with the ideas I've got for the narrative and the theme of the game, because we're not just set in space here, we're kind of combined with a virtual world, this sounds lame, but a computer world. It sounds really bad. Something like that, of that nature. So having a symmetry there would be unlike space, but it might be like space enough, but with a combination of something else. However, it's not best practice to kind of try to transcend a bug by pretending it means something else. But I don't know. Another alternative is just to have this read out something different to what's going on behind the scenes, and then to, I don't know, have a little tweak for minus numbers. I could just add on a massive number, like a massive number, so that behind the scenes there's a consistent spread of positive numbers, but on the surface you could go into minus numbers and things like that. I don't know. If you have any thoughts about this and you're actually watching this weird devlog, then let me know in the comments. I genuinely would like to hear some good ideas for that. Anyway, I've got to make this screen look good. Last thing I'll just say here to this very short video is I don't want just another grid, because we've already got a grid here and it'll look too similar. So it would be nice maybe to have basically a mini map. So maybe we could have a rotating ship. So I could create another canvas layer, another layer, and have our rotating ship, and then that represents its location within the galaxy. How would that work? I don't know, I'm kind of imagining. I think what I'm going to do is play around with a few things. Maybe the next devlog, if I've made any progress, I've got an idea, I might show that. And I might also, in the next devlog, try to show more coding. That might be more interesting for people. Again, let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. Okay, thank you very much. I hope this was somewhat entertaining or interesting. Goodbye.